Pet Care and Surgery Center, Wilbert Encounter, Wells Fargo Shane Peak, University Bank, SEK Urgent Care, Commerce Bank, Crossland Construction, Jocksnitch Sporting Goods, Watco Company, Lane Lord Basketball Camp, Love Bank, Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing, Lindbergh Pharmacy, Pittsburgh State University, Size Smile Center, Ryan Insurance, and the Spigarelli Law Firm.
Now let's go live courtside for tonight's pregame show on ESPN 100.7.
Well, Martha Harper and her Lady Raiders have started the season with 3 consecutive losses, but look for their first win of the season at home for their first home game of the year in front of a crowd decked out in their black attire. But they are facing the obstacle of J.C. Harmon, a Kansas City school, looking for their first win of the season as well. The Lady Raiders as well as the Lady Hawks, the Boiling Point here on your home for Frontenac Athletics. Radio X 103.5, The Evolution. And a merry welcome to Frontenac High School with Caleb Woodnow and Taylor Walls back at our 103.5 studio. I'm Cam Molina. Last time out, the Lady Raiders took on a very difficult Missouri school in Carl Junction, a part of that COC conference that is very vaunted. The Raiders stumbled in that contest, losing by a significant amount, but Coach Harper says not to look at the scoreboard. We made major jumps and major improvements in that contest, including our defense. The zone that this team primarily runs was far better executed, and on a technical aspect, the team seemed very crisp defensively. It's offensively that the team really has to start beginning to hit their stride, and with Bria Ginnivan, the forward for this club, as well as Maddie Davis, those two will have to be outstanding tonight in this contest against a very youthful J.C. Harmon team that starts 3 freshmen in this contest. We will step aside for 1 minute and have a sit-down interview with the Lady Raider coach herself and Martha Harper, and we will also be joined by J.C. Harmon's coaches as well. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with more Frontenac Raider Athletics here on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
After 3 decades in business, Bittner Motors of Pittsburgh remains a local favorite. If you're in the market for a quality free...
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburgh State University.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
What do you want from your bank?
Access to my account information on my phone.
Security, convenience, and friendly staff.
When I call, I want to speak with a real person.
I want it all. Low fees, low loan rates, and high deposit rates.
What if there was a place like this in your community? There is. Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union, with locations in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Independence, and Coffeyville, serving area residents since 1949.
Headquartered in Richmond, Kansas, QSI Quality Structures Incorporated specializes in designing and building complete post-frame buildings. We provide structures built to withstand a 30-pound ground snow load and a 90-mile-per-hour wind shear built to the most stringent codes. Whether you need a garage, agricultural building, commercial facility, or custom-built design, we're your one-stop shop for post-frame buildings. QSI. Everything we do is right on cue.
Issues with the parents just earning money, but how proud you are for the girls coming out and participating and finding something they enjoy?
Yeah, our girls, we promote activities at our school because students that are involved are better students, and they're out in society. They're better citizens. So we're really working on promoting that, and I know that we have a lot of proud parents, though sometimes they can't make it to the games because they are working several jobs. But we got a lot of pride, and a lot of pride with our parents and with the girls that we have out.
And, Coach, I want to continue to dabble on some of the younger players, and not so much from a negative aspect, but more positive. You and I talked prior to the interview when you mentioned you have a lot of talent on this team. But sometimes for younger players, it's difficult for them to understand that that talent's there, that latent ability is there. How do you make sure that the confidence level is up for your girls despite some of the losses?
We do a lot of pep talks, a lot of talking on the side. Even if you're struggling, like one of my girls, Cassie Sanchez, she's a pure shooter, but she has to speed her shot up in a varsity game versus when she was in middle school, so her shots are not connecting as often as she was like. And we have to, I've talked to her about she's got to shoot herself out of her slump, be confident, set her feet, get squared up for the shot, and they'll start falling. So this week we've done a lot of pacing stuff to try to get them to speed everything up and put it into more of a game situation and game speed, so that they start getting set and settled in and playing some basketball.
Currently talking with J.C. Harmon basketball coach Malcolm Burnell. And, Coach, you talk about the speed of the game. With that speed comes aggression, especially when you're attacking the rim. For a lot of younger players, sometimes they seem to be shy and not prone to going inside and scoring. Can you touch on making sure your girls are aggressive offensively and not just settling for those outside jumpers?
We do a couple different aggression drills. We do a lot of charge drills, making sure that they're used to getting bumped. There's another drill, and it sounds horrible, but it's called blood and gut. It's really 2-on-2, and you have to score 2 baskets. And so they can wrestle around, they can travel, and it teaches them to get in. And every time I've done that drill, I've almost got into foul trouble because they realize that it's okay, that the game is, for a non-contact sport, it's one of the roughest sports that they're going to play.
Hey, Coach, it seems like you are really shaping the mentality and demeanor of your team based around the drills. Can you touch on the girls' confidence as well as mentality and overall idea of practice? Do they enjoy it? Are they happy to come in on a regular basis and participate?
Yeah, we typically I'll use Thanksgiving break, for example. We almost never were able to hold a practice over the break because we didn't have enough athletes in there. And this year, we told them that we wanted them to come, and so we had 98% of our team come in over the break to do practices. So they are motivated, they're dedicated. It's nice to see that if one of the girls or teammates have a problem, they come in and they talk about it and let us know so that we can help them and keep them on track and where they need to go. So they're really shaping up and growing and building our own little basketball community.
Coach, you prepare for a Frontenac team that has perennially been a difficult opponent in the CNC Conference in Southeast Kansas. Can you touch on the matchup tonight and what you expect from your young girls?
We're going to go out. We're going to play the best dang defense that we can and try to move the ball and hopefully get some scoring opportunities. But we're going to come at them and give them our best shot and try to make it worth their while.
Once again, that was the J.C. Harmon assistant basketball coach and Malcolm Burnell. When we return to Radio X 103.5, The Evolution, starting lineups, as well as insight into tonight's matchup. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the home of Frontenac Athletics on 103.5, The Evolution.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Paynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist. Paynes handles all driveline repairs for cars, trucks, four-wheel drive vehicles, and farm equipment. Paynes can also handle any general machine work and offers 24-hour wrecker service. Call Paynes anytime, 231-3170. Paynes Incorporated is located at the intersection of West McKay and Highway 69 Frontenac Junction. Paynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist.
Proud supporter of Frontenac Athletics.
And now, back courtside with more Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
Hello, and welcome back to Radio X 103.5, The Evolution. Cam Molina joined by Frontenac head girls basketball coach Martha Harper. Coach, Tuesday you took on a very powerful Carl Junction team, faltered in that contest. However, maybe you found some experience that your girls can grow from. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, I really felt like that, they were really outsized. We were really outsized, but I felt like our girls didn't back down from that challenge. I know the score doesn't reflect it, but, we drove the lane quite a few times and took a beating inside of there. But they were, I was proud of the girls, how they, continued to try the things that we do. It's really hard, though, when you have, some 6'3" girls in there, trees that, to get over them. But I was proud of their desire to continue doing what we try to do every day.
And I know there's a lot of talent over there at Carl Junction. They had a center signed recently with Pitt State. Can you touch on, albeit you did face a lot of taller players, how was the execution of the zone? I know you and I discussed that at the beginning of the year, how that was going to be an imperative tool for your squad this season.
Yeah, I felt like we played, 2-3 back zone, in the lane zone, and I felt like that they did a good job containing those girls. Where we got, where we lost our points, where some of the other girls stepped up and started shooting outside and hit quite a few threes. Both of the girls, both of those girls from Carl Junction, they only scored 11 points each on us. So I felt like the girls, on that part did a good job.
And Coach, on a night-in and night-out basis, for your team to compete, do you think they will have to be more aggressive than most teams will be throughout the season? Will you have to be the aggressor, someone that asserts their mentality on others?
Oh, yeah. I believe that we've probably lost Macy Kotzman to a knee injury last night. So that's one of our big girls, one of 3. So we aren't the tallest team. We're going to have to be real aggressive, up and down the floor, outside the arc. We're just really going to have to, our guards are really going to have to put some pressure on the outsides in order for us to, protect the inside.
Currently talking with Frontenac head girls basketball coach Martha Harper. And Coach, with the Kotzman injury, that somewhat levels down the seniority you have on your squad. Can you touch on how some of the younger players are going to have to step up throughout the season?
Yeah, we're going to have Lauren Harper, she's going to have to step up and play inside there for us, which she doesn't, although she is taller, she doesn't have a lot of inside experience. She kind of grew late in life. So we're still learning, teaching her, how to play the inside. Caitlin Sellers is going to have to really step up. And then Bria Ginnivan, although she's not super tall, she usually works very, very hard for us on the inside. So, we're really going to have to work on inside moves. And those young girls are going to have to start rebounding better, work on rebounding and just holding their own inside there.
And from a coaching aspect, can you touch on that specialty teaching when it comes to those post players and even guards, focusing on low post repertoire and being able to expand that?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate because Bailey Floor is one of my assistant coaches. And when she was in high school, I'm sure everybody remembers her, she was one of the best posts in the state of Kansas. That's the year that we got second place, her senior year. So, she likes to work with those girls on their moves, and she's still helping several of them develop their moves. Like Bria and Lauren, they're still learning the moves. We still have to get them to go to the basket instead of fading away or, try to get in there and get a foul. So, we're very fortunate to have Bailey on our coaching squad to help those girls.
And, Coach, you've already had a rigorous 3-game schedule, just reflecting you play a CNC opponent on the road in Colgan. You go to the road against Labette County, against one of the best guards in the state, and then Carl Junction, Missouri school. Can you touch on, one, the level of competition you girls are facing, and 2, the fact that these are all road games?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Those, Labette County is definitely a very, very competitive. They're going to be competitive at the state level. We know that Carl Junction is state ranked. I can't remember what number they are, but at this point, they haven't lost a game. We talked about that. The coaching staff and I talked about we had to keep their, we have to, we lost quite a bit by a lot of points last night, and we have to just keep them to understand that that level of play is going to get us ready for our conference. And it can be discouraging, but we will try to find the positives and try to, work on that.
Coach, you will keep the trend of high-caliber opponents coming up against Harmon in a classification that's a couple steps higher than Frontenac is, but can you touch on also playing at home?
Oh, we're excited about playing at home. The girls, we haven't been at home yet, so the girls are excited. We're just little tiny things like we're getting our music ready, our warm-up ready. They're excited to wear their new white uniforms. Those are all little girls' things. But we're excited to have the home crowd supporting us. We've had really good support. At Colgan, we had a lot of people there. We had quite a few people there last night, so we really appreciate that. But they're excited about playing on their home field. And, one of our goals is to, not lose at home. So we will get to start working on that goal also.
Once again, that was the Frontenac head girls basketball coach, Martha Harper. We will return to Radio X 103.5 The Evolution in just 2 minutes.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our Text Alert program, and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
The City of Frontenac is a proud supporter of Frontenac High School athletics and academics. The City of Frontenac was founded in 1886 and is home to just over 3,100 residents. Frontenac citizens enjoy a small-town atmosphere and all that a close-knit community has to offer. Situated on the crossroads of 2 major highways, those living in Frontenac can easily travel and enjoy the amenities of larger cities in a shorter travel distance. The community boasts an outstanding school system, low taxes, complete city services, including 24-hour police and fire protection. Good luck, Raiders, from the mayor, city council, and staff.
The true test of a great insurance agency comes when you suffer a loss. It's easy to take your premiums, but Ray Ryan of Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh knows that handling your claim is the most important service an insured needs.
Claim is our chance to let the customer know that we'll be out there, not just that we sold them a policy, we'll also be there when a claim occurs to make sure it gets handled in an honest, respectable way.
Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh, a trusted choice agency. Find them fast in names and numbers.
From scoring the winning touchdown to walking in graduation, life is full of wonderful moments. But the best times can come with financial challenges, like paying for college or a room renovation. This is Brian Sutton, Market President of Commerce Bank in Pittsburgh. At Commerce, we make the harder stuff easy. Whatever your challenge is, we want to listen and help find solutions so you can focus on the good stuff, like cheering on your favorite team. Check us out at commercebank.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter for tips on making the most of life. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted.
And now, more exciting Raiders basketball action on Radio X 103.5 The Evolution.
And we welcome you back to Frontenac High School. 2 winless teams set to earn their first victory of the season. At least one will. And the hometown Frontenac Raiders, as they will try to fend off and stave off this hungry young J.C. Harmon High School club, coached by Greg Smith. And a merry welcome back to Radio X 103.5 The Evolution. Caleb Withnow, Taylor Walls, Cam Molina with you. And for Frontenac, don't let their 0-3 record deceive you. They've played very stout competition. You talk about 3 games this season. Those 3 teams are clubs that will most likely reach each respective state playoff for their classification. St. Mary Colgan on the road, a team of the CNC that may have an opportunity to steal away the conference. Then you talk about going on the road, taking on probably the best girls SEK team within that league in Labette County, and Tristan Gang, probably a top 3 to 5 player in the state of Kansas in terms of that girls position. And then for this Frontenac team last week, taking on Carl Junction on the road, a Missouri school. So the difficulty of the Raiders' schedule under Coach Martha Harper has been outstanding, and it's eye-popping to just look at how close a lot of the games have been. Losing to Labette County by double digits, but that game was still relatively close. Losing to Colgan by 2 points in that game, and then several dozen points against the Carl Junction club, but just overcoming some obstacles throughout the season, including losing one of their seniors in Macy Kotzman. And with that, we will go through the starting lineup, beginning with J.C. Harmon, beginning with Dana Chavez, Michaela Watson, Cassandra Sanchez, Brianna Osuna, and Michaela Reed. And as for the Raiders, it will be Maddie Davis, Karma Fields, Brianna Ginnivan, Lauren Harper, and Caitlin Sellers. Moving to the bench will be Taylor Peterson, and I think that will provide more of a pop off the bench for Coach Harper, so she has an opportunity for that second unit to come out onto the floor and score and be efficient. And to have a senior really conducting a lot of those offensive sets will really help this team during the long run, I believe. And actually, a correction, Peterson will start, and that is not what the scorebook said down at the scores table, and there seems to be a miscommunication in that department. But either way, Taylor Peterson will start and Sellers will come off the bench. But regardless, it will be Harper starting over Kotzman following her injury. And at center court, it will be Harper jumping off against Reed. As currently Coach Harper having a conversation with one of the officials prior to play beginning. I'm not sure if that's in regard to the starting lineups or not, but either way, the girls' varsity matchup is underway. Peterson, following the tip win by Harper, will dump it off low to the left block, and galloping inside will be Maddie Davis. She draws the foul, will head to the free throw line. Maddie Davis, a junior for this team, a fairly competent junior. She will head to the stripe to shoot a pair. And J.C. Harmon's JV team was pretty much trounced about 15-20 minutes ago, and this is a relatively, again, young varsity and JV team as the program has really started to boot up over the last 2 seasons. Second opportunity following the first miss, or make by Davis, I beg your pardon, is good. So inbounding in the backcourt will be Watson. Watson double teamed as she flips it up past the timeline, and an easy steal by Ginnivan. She's at midcourt as she's sweeping over to the left side and dumps it off to Davis. Davis shovels a pass over into the left corner, and rounding inside and drawing contact is Fields, and on her left tip was Watson. It will be an inbound toward the right side of the goal, towards the near side of the court. Peterson following the inbound power dribble, right block, misses her first shot, rebound, does not make the second attempt, but draws the foul. And going to the line will be Peterson, the senior guard. Peterson will take 3 dribbles at the stripe, spin the leather in her hands, and then a T-Rex arm free throw shot drops through the bottom of the net. 3-0 is the score early on. All 3 of the points for Frontenac coming from the free throw line about 30 seconds into the contest. Second shot for Peterson is also good. Good free throw shooting by this club to begin. Reed will inbound, and at midcourt, currently handling the sphere will be Osuna. Osuna jumps off the basketball to the left wing where Chavez operates. She nearly gets inside the horseshoe before traveling, and Chavez played a lot of JV minutes, so she may only have about 2 or 3 quarters to spare in this varsity game. Keep in mind, between a whole night of competition, I beg your pardon, you can only have 6 quarters of action. Inside will be Peterson as she slices from right wing inside and finishes the lay-in. In the backcourt, picking up her dribble is Watson. She finds Reed, who pivots on her left foot. It will be Chavez on the left elbow, and she tosses it away to Harper. Following the steal by Harper on the break, it will be Peterson as she finds Davis. Davis wheels inside, right-hand float shot, kisses the orange and does not go through. Teeters on the lip of the iron, does not fall through. Harper there to clean it up and score. A steal by Davis, and Davis lays it up left-handed, and a timeout used by J.C. Harmon, and coming up with a injured ankle is Bria Ginnivan. The score 10-0. Frontenac leads at 6:37 remaining in the first quarter of play. We will take a 30-second break and bring you back more action from Frontenac High School.
Having a confident smile can change everything, and Invisalign makes that decision easy because you can have a stunning smile without most people even knowing you're going through treatment. Saya Smile Center is proud to be a premier provider of Invisalign. Your Invisalign treatment will consist of a series of aligners that you switch out every 2 weeks. Each aligner will gradually shift your teeth perfectly into place, giving you the smile you always dreamed of. Call Saya Smile Center today for your no-cost consultation. Saya Smile Center, 4095 Parkview Drive in Frontenac, 620-231-7242.
Back to action with Frontenac Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
The purple uniform-wearing Hawks trailing on the road early on, 10-0 against the hometown Frontenac Raiders. Cam Molina with you, 6:37 remaining in the first quarter of play, and the Raiders putting on the press early on as Chavez, the freshman, picks up her dribble near the left block on the opposite end of the court. The Hawks offense going from left to right on your dial, trying to maneuver past Harper, who had set a double-team defensive move with Peterson in cooperation with her at midcourt on Osuna. Looks to have stepped out of bounds. It actually will be a foul on Harper, her first, team's first. And the Raiders not allowing the Hawks to catch their breath. And again, this is a very young team. Prior to coming into this matchup, I spoke with assistant coach Malcolm Brunell, and he mentioned that the team would start three freshmen tonight. They only are starting 2. However, that's still quite the difficult obstacle to overcome, considering you have a lot of young players, as Peterson will rip the basketball away from Reed. And a lobbing pass in transition to the streaking Fields as she's fouled on her way up to the rim, and she will head to the free throw line. And it's a foul that is committed by the Hawks, Watson. And that is 2 on Watson now. So Karma Fields, the sophomore, to the charity stripe. Her first offering is good. J.C. Harmon has not had the basketball very much through the first minute 51 of tonight, as the Raiders are really pushing the envelope. Fields goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line, as her second shot is stuck in between the right side of the back iron and the rim and the glass, and a fan from the student section comes up and tips it away, and he's met with a standing ovation in a very facetious manner. Harmon will inbound from the near sideline, standing on the black baseline, carved out in the letters of Frontenac, spelling out that word. Chavez asking for the basketball from Reed. Reed makes a fatal error as she gives it up to Davis, nearly a beeline pass into the Raiders junior's hands, and she goes and draws the contact inside the key. However, will be a foul on the floor. And that is on Chavez, her second. Davis to inbound from the right side of the hoop. Peterson catches it. Left short corner 2 is good. She would have had a 3 if she had taken one small step in, but elected to shoot the 2. Pressure in the backcourt still. Reed lobs it and throws it away, and it lands near the scorer's table. (13-0) is the score. Frontenac leads. 5:50 remaining in the first quarter of play, and a substitution for the Raiders as Skylar Baker subs in. Baker dribbling with her left hand, wearing left and right shin guards. Gives off to Peterson. Strong power dribble. The senior misses the front of her 2 shots. The second opportunity elicits a foul. So Peterson very aggressive early on as she's able to snag 2 boards, and we'll head to the charity stripe. That is 2 fouls on Reed, and already early foul trouble for the Hawks. 2 on Chavez, 2 on Watson, and now 2 on Reed. First offering from Peterson drops as she brings back her checkerboard shoes to the free throw line. Wearing black Nike socks, Harper relegating herself to the backcourt, standing on the black and tan shield of the Raider at midcourt. That is the logo for this team. Going 2 or 2 from the stripe was Peterson. Pressure once more. A steal by Field. She misses her first shot. Second offering is from Baker following the offensive rebound. And the recently subbed in Shy Robinson grabs the board. She loses it as she kicks it out in transition to Rodriguez, Tracy Rodriguez, and then Rodriguez loses it out of bounds. It will remain Harmon basketball. It will be a side out from the near sideline, closest to the scorer's table in the Harmon bench. Chavez has the ball, Rodriguez has the ball in her right hand before scooting it to the right wing where Reed is at. Reed gets it back, nearly a steal by Fields. Ball is located right block, fadeaway two-pointer, wiggles and finally drops through. The tip by Osuna drops. And Osuna earns the first points for Harmon in this contest. Right block deuce does not fall for Baker. Rebound by Davis, and there is a foul on the floor. An inbounds following the foul by Baker, her first and the team's second. Results now in a steal by the Raiders. Peterson tries to save it as Fields was looking for Peterson on the right block. Peterson, right corner three. That one sails and does not go. Rebound in transition, stopping on a dime and popping the two-point jump shot, but to no avail was Sanchez. So after the Sanchez miss, Harper looks up. Rumbling in transition, the right-handed layup goes +1. Harper with good ability to run the floor and finish with a dominant right hand. Not only are the Raiders winning the rebound battle, but they are scoring in droves. 18-2 the score, 4:33 remaining in the first quarter of play. That was the first foul committed by Robinson. Harper's free throw does not go. So a substitution now for Harmon as it will be Watson who subs in. Reed will go to the bench. In the backcourt is Sanchez. Sanchez dribbling with her left hand. Gets inside of the lane and inside the horseshoe. The ball is stripped away by Peterson. Peterson crosses over left to right, back to the right hand. Right hand layup goes. Okay, this is just a walk in the park right now for this Frontenac team. And with 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter, it's 20-2. Davis with another steal, dribbling right-handed. Left, right foot goes up and finishes. I should say left foot, right hand as it's opposites. And now on the sideline, it is Coach Smith barking out plays, asking for Omaha. Ball's tossed away by Watson, and it is a turnover by Harmon. 3:42 remaining in the first quarter of play and a 20-point lead for the Raiders. Coach Harper ready to make some substitutions as Ginnivan, who left the floor midway through the first quarter of play, is now back at the scorer's table. First opportunity by Fields does not go on the offensive end, and it's a rebound by Watson. Watson pulls up, right block, tries to use the window. It's shallow and short, rebounded by Harper. Baker has it as she maneuvers in traffic, crosses the timeline, continues to dribble with the dominant hand. Beautiful spin move, and it's the inside left hand finish in a gorgeous move by Skylar Baker. Yeah, that was such a savvy move in transition by Baker. Watson, free throw line 2 drops on the opposite end. Following the two-pointer, that drop by Watson, it will be Peterson with the hesitation move near midcourt. Ball on the right wing. Field sets herself. The three-pointer on its way, short. Rebounded by Peterson, but she steps out of bounds, and she knew immediately that she stepped out of bounds following her somewhat not loud shout, but she was kind of taken aback and was frustrated following the play. 24-4 is the score, 20-point lead for the Raiders. 8 of those points have been scored by Peterson. Robinson back in the contest for Harmon, as will be Sanchez who subs out. Watson has it on the opposite end of the floor. She steps on the Raider sword at midcourt as she picks up her dribble, throws it to the right block, up and under move by Osuna before She pitches it back to the top of the key. Chavez, beautiful move, going in between two Raiders defenders, splits the top of the defense, goes inside, and then throws the ball over the back of the backboard, and that is a turnover. 2:19 left of the first quarter of play. 24-4 is the score. Baker handling the basketball now. As she's pounding into the hardwood, she crosses over below the knees against Watson. Watson, good defense. She steps in front of Baker, and then Watson frustrated as the foul is called on her. Third on Watson. And this is not a deep bench for Harmon, as they did not suit up very many players tonight. In fact, this Harmon team only suited up 8 players tonight. Baker, her first opportunity with the 1-and-1, as that was the 8th team foul committed by the Hawks, is good. Baker, staggered feet, right foot in front of the left foot. Second shot. Good. Sanchez will sub in instead of Watson. I should say in the stead of Watson, with 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. It's a 22-point lead for the Raiders, 26-4. Left corner, Sanchez, double team, and she is being harassed as the ball's poked loose. It squeaks away, somehow recovered in the left corner by Chavez. Now to the right elbow, and the 2-point jump shot quickly out of the hands of Rodriguez. And a rebound corralled by Bailey Rooms, who subbed in. And on the break, it is Bria Ginnivan who finishes with the right hand. So Ginnivan 1 of 1 for the field tonight. 28-4 is the score. From the right elbow will be Chavez, and Chavez interchanges with Rodriguez. Chavez splits Skylar Baker as well as Field before the shot is blocked by the recovering Baker. Baker loses the ball in the backcourt. She will cross the prime meridian as she dribbles with her off left hand, ripping through on the right wing is Field. 0-step, right hand push shot does not go, but it's a foul on the floor, and I believe it will be against Rodriguez, and that will be the 9th team foul committed by the Hawks. And excuse me, that is on Robinson. No, it will be on Marjay Connor, excuse me. And the Hawks will use a timeout. 1:15 remaining in the first quarter of play. It's a 24-point lead for the Raiders. We're back in 30 seconds with your home of Raider Athletics on Radio X 103.5 The Evolution.
Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing can tow all cars, trucks, and some semi-tractors and trailers in town or cross country. Larry Barrett has emergency wrecker service for all accidents, 24-hour towing. Been in an accident? Then call the pros. They have quality auto body repairing and painting from certified technicians for all major and minor repair jobs, and they can deal directly with the insurance companies, taking the stress out of your life. Go to barrettbodyframe.com or stop in and see them at 1601 East 27th Street Terrace, or call 232-9400. That's Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing. Customer service first. See them fast in names and numbers.
And now, back courtside with more Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5 The Evolution.
And we welcome you back to Radio X 103.5 The Evolution. And the first free throw is good from Fields, as she was fouled prior to the timeout used by Coach Smith. This will be the 3rd and 4th attempt for Fields. She knocked down the front of her 2 shots. The second attempt also goes. She's now 3 of 4 from the stripe tonight. And it is a 30-4 lead for the Raiders. Fields pokes the ball loose away from Sanchez. She goes up right-handed. The ball squeaks off the right side of the orange, does not go. And now being corralled towards the far side of the court and turning the ball over is Sanchez again. And in transition, it's Rooms, right-handed, no. Rebound on the backside by Baker, does not go. Another offensive rebound by Baker, a long hook shot that takes an awkward glance off the lip of the iron. Then another offensive rebound, I believe, by Fields. She goes up, but it looks like she hit Tamara Guerrera above the right eye, and she is up slowly, and she's tending to the eye. And the foul will be committed by Tracy Rodriguez. And it will be free throws from Caitlin Randall. Second offering from Randall after knocking down her first shot. It's good. 32-4 is the score. So Randall is able to notch some points early on. And the Raiders team has been shooting very well from the line as they are 10 of 12 tonight. Loose ball on the opposite end of the floor. Purple and white have scattered all over the sphere, and it's recovered by Guerrera, and it will be jump ball, possession arrow Raiders. Ball is inbounded to Ginnivan. Ginnivan will handle the sphere with her left hand, and it's off of her quadricep, and it goes out of bounds. (32-4) is the score. 26 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. A 28-point lead for the Raiders. Midcourt is Fields. She will greet Chavez. Use her left arm like a stiff arm move in football to gain some separation. And then Rodriguez was under pressure against Fields. She had a dribble to use, but shuffled her right foot and nearly walked with the basketball. Actually, she did walk with the basketball, so no use to say nearly, as she did. Past the timeliner's rooms before she shuffles the ball over to the right wing, looking to dump off the basketball as Fields. She looks, left short corner, Rooms, deuce, and it's long, rebounded by Baker on the weak side, kicks it out, Rooms needs a swing. Beautiful skip pass to Ginnivan, high off the window, does not go, and that will bring the end of the first quarter. 32-4 is the score. The Raiders up by a lot at home, seeking their first win of the season, and it already seems like this team has made quite the confidence dent against this young Harmon team, but Coach Smith trying to rally them for the second quarter of play, and we will bring you that after a 30-second break. You're listening to the home of Raider Athletics on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
The human eye blinks about 17,000 times a day, but here's a real eye-opener. Dry eyes can cause irritation, red eyes, and blurred vision. Don't assume your blurry vision means you need new glasses or contacts. The doctors at Kanar Eye Care are experienced in diagnosing and treating dry eyes with the newest treatments available. So schedule your eye exam in Pittsburgh or Girard with Kanar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
More exciting Raiders basketball action on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
And a merry welcome back to Frontenac High School, where the Lady Raiders lead by 28, 32-4 with Caleb Withnow and Taylor Walls back at our 103.5 studio. I'm Cam Molina, and it was a lopsided first quarter of action. The Raiders were pouring it on thick as it's a travel by Chavez towards the right side of the court. And that will be a Raider offensive possession now. And the Raiders just really stuck it to this very young Harmon team that is probably only in its second year of actual eligibility and having a team that can actually come out and play. I was talking with Coach Brunell, and as Davis has a right block and scores, a lot of these girls who live in the Kansas City area do not have the means to play because they have to provide for their families. So it is more so of a either you eat or you try to enjoy and play basketball deal, and it's very sad to hear, but Coach Brunell as well as Coach Smith, the head coach for this Hawks team, very pleased with the turnout this season and the development of the girls over the last 2 years as Chavez picks the ball up. Left block stolen away by Davis as she purloins the basketball. She stops midcourt to gain some separation between her and Robinson. Watson set to check back in for Harmon as she's towards the left of the score table. Near side of the court, it will be Peterson. Peterson is able to get Robinson on her right hip, goes up, draws contact, and will head to the free throw line. It is a 30-point lead for the Raiders with 7:02 left in the half. And when talking with Coach Brunell, he said tonight we are going to do nothing but bring defensive intensity and pressure this Raider team. They have not really had the opportunity to do that, as they have been more so the predators tonight, or rather the animals that are being hunted, the prey. 30-point lead for Frontenac still, 7 minutes left in the half. As Peterson misses the front of her two shots, second offering is good. Fields, 6 free throw attempts tonight. Chavez picks up her dribble, right wing, double teamed in the right corner as a skip pass goes to Reed. left short corner. Picking up her dribble left corner, orchestrating the offense or attempting to, is Chavez, and it's a throwaway. It will remain Harmon basketball. It will be a side out towards the far side of the court as Reed will inbound. In front of an enthusiastic Raiders parent and fan section in general, who are here to see their girls perform at home for the first time this season. Watson straightaway trifecta. That one does not fall through, and it goes out of bounds. Good hustle by Reed as she dove for it. Plays being barked out by Davis midcourt, yelling purple, purple. Peterson has it, dribbling with her off left hand, crosses over below the knees to her right. Her ponytail waving behind her as she is able to escort the ball to the left corner. Davis uses her athleticism to accelerate along the right baseline, finds Harper, free throw line, deuce go. So Harper, a nice silky jump shot from about 8 feet away. Harper now with 6 in the stead of Kotzman, who endured a very scary injury against Carl Junction, to my understanding. And in transition, it is Jaden Meyer goes up left-handed and draws the foul. So the sophomore will go to the free throw line for the first time of this contest. 37-4 is the score. Raiders lead. 5:47 left in the first half of play. Meyer set her feet, shoulder width apart, but about even in terms of location, and the first free throw drops. 38-4 is the score. Meyer will have her second attempt. Raiders cheerleading section currently cheering for Meyer as she misses her second shot. It was last touched by Watson following the miss. And following the miss, it will be Raiders basketball following a timeout used by Coach Harper. So with 5:46 remaining in the half and a 34-point lead, we will step aside here on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution, and bring you back more action from Frontenac High School.
Jock Stitch is your holiday shopping headquarters with brands like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Oakley, and Ray-Bans. What else would anyone want? Don't forget, we have Royals gear and NFL apparel for the entire family at Jock Stitch Sporting Goods. Plenty of stocking stuffers from Pitt State to KU to all local area high schools in downtown Pittsburgh and Parsons at Jock Stitch Sporting Goods. Stop in today to get all your Christmas shopping done.
You got the sports look of today. Sporting Goods from Jock Stitch.
Back to action with Frontenac Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
Davis inbounds near baseline, and it's a turnover by the Raiders, but it's not really consequential right now as they lead by 34 points, 5:46 remaining in the first half of play, and Watson, as well as her Lady Hawks, trying to find some sense of offense. Watson, ball jarred out of her hand momentarily by the harassing Meyer. Harper is able to read the pass to the right block, tips it away. Davis has it now. Another turnover by the Hawks, who have turned the ball over plenty tonight. Meyer, who attacks from the left corner, and as she wheels towards the baseline to the right block to feed from Peterson, but the ball's poked away. But then as the ball went out of bounds, it was last touched by Meyer. So with 5:30 remaining in the first half, it will be Hawks basketball. Watson skip pass, and it's over into the hands of Sanchez, but she is unable to harpoon the basketball. It glances off her hands and rolls into the welcoming area of the gymnasium here at Frontenac High School. It will remain Harmon basketball, and the Hawks, I don't think, know that it is their ball, and they do. It will be a full sprint from half court. Chavez will inbound. So the gadget-like inbounds play does not fool the Raiders. They were huddled inside of the arc, and the two-point jump shot by Sanchez skims off the lip of the iron. Rebounded by Peterson. Peterson dribbles right-handed, crosses over, and as she picks up the ball on the key, left short corner, Myers 2, and it kisses the heel of the iron, but prior to that, it was a travel. Turnover by the Raiders, and this is a good opportunity for some of the younger players for Coach Harper to gain some invaluable experience, as coming up soon it will be league play, and Christmas break will be here before too long, so practices will be a bit inconsistent. I would imagine some players going to travel, as, speaking of travel, Chavez walks with it. Will go on Christmas vacation, enjoy themselves, and experience a normal high schooler's life, but then come back and try to be reintegrated into the offense and defense, and it's up to the upperclassmen to help with the younger players in that regard, as Harper does a nice sweeping right hook follow-away jump shot. Reed comes up with the board, however, following the miss that was short, and Watson gallops in transition. She accelerated to the right block and tried to go with the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar right-hand sky hook, but there was not so much of a hitch at the top of her shot as there was for one of the greatest centers of all time to don the purple and gold. However, Watson gets the next best thing, a foul, and she will head to the free throw line. That is one on Davis. And the third team foul committed in this first half by the Raiders. Watson's first free throw is like a bullet, almost a frozen rope from center field as it screams off the white circle on the backboard and does not go in. 38-4 is the score, 34-point lead for the Raiders. Watson sets up, this time a bit more soft, but it is still off the back iron and rebounded by Watson as she will reinitiate the offense. With the keys in the ignition, Reed has it. And the far more strong Reed has the ball cocked above her head before she sails it to the right wing where Chavez is at, and Chavez, a freshman, travels for the fourth time tonight. But if you are a freshman like Chavez gaining varsity experience, this will do nothing but help you. I guess the only real stipulation that could be brought into mind is that it may actually hurt the confidence level. But for this Harmon team, you're going to have to compete the entire season, more so than probably most teams. As in transition, it's Peterson, and she has a clear lane to the rack. She skis inside, but Reed bumps into her, and the and one is no good, but Peterson will head to the free throw line shooting a pair. That is 3 on Reed, and we are still 4 minutes, 14 seconds left in the first half of play. Peterson's free throw is a good one. She is now 5 of 5 tonight. She will have her 6th shot coming up shortly. In a platoon swap for Coach Harper as she brings on a full new squad. Ginnivan will stay on the floor, however, with Peterson. In addition, it will be Fields and Randall. Second opportunity for Peterson is good. She's 6 of 6 from the line tonight. 40-4 is the score. Raiders lead by 36. Baker is also on the floor for the Raiders. I believe I failed to mention that. And Rooms will also sub in for Peterson. Watson pounds the ball hard towards the hardwood, and then trying to dodge in between two Raiders was Sanchez, but Sanchez had the ball knocked loose. Baker, right wing, thought about uncorking a trifecta. She teed it off. She'd have thought better of it and looked towards the right block where Rooms was cutting. She made an easy swiveling inside turn and tried to hoist the ball up with the right hand, but there's a foul. In the process of shooting, and the Raiders have been in the double bonus for about 6 minutes in game time, dating back to a late first quarter. First free throw, an air ball by Rooms. And the head official turned around and looked towards the scorer's table and kind of raised his eyebrows following the first free throw missed by Rooms. As she was not even in the same solar system, the second opportunity does go. Rooms with her first points of the night. Watson with the leather in her mitts, and her right index finger and middle finger taped together is now calling for a high ball screen to be set. No one comes to set the high ball screen, as Osuna thought of it as, hey, clear out the lane, I'm going to work. Now Sanchez has the ball about 3 feet away from the top of the arc. A bounce pass right short corner. Watson tries to navigate baseline, and she is fouled by Ginnivan, who bumped into her, and that will be a foul on the floor. The fourth team foul committed by the Raiders. Robinson will inbound left side of the goal towards the far side of the court. Watson will cut to the basketball right block, but instead Chavez will get it outside of the horseshoe. She'll pull up right short corner. Air ball, rebound by Randall. Randall following the wide miss by Chavez will try to maneuver past midcourt, but she skips it to about 3 steps away from the top of the right wing to Baker. Baker dumps it off, finds Ginnivan, a spin move inside, but it's an inverted spin move as Ginnivan took a spin inside towards the baseline, power dribble, and then a right-hand polish finish. Ginnivan and company continuing to pour it on here in the second quarter of play. It is 43-4. Ball stolen away by Rooms, bounce pass, and a timeout used by Coach Harper as she did not appreciate the execution by her girls on the floor. This is the second unit, and they will get a talking to, not so much with criticism or skepticism, but more so of confidence building and a bit more positivity, and a 39-point lead. That's nothing really to sit here and chirp about or scoff at for the Lady Raiders at home for their first home game of the season as they lead the Harmon Hawks 43-4. A quick recap alongside Caleb Wood now with Taylor Walls back at a 103.5 Radio X studio. I'm Cam Molina. First quarter was all Raiders. Second quarter, more or less the same. Has a 39-point lead, as discussed before, is not something many would suspect in a high school girls basketball game, but the competition level for this Raiders team in terms of inside of their own huddle is very high, as this team has been disappointed with the win-lose column to begin the season, 0-3, and they are on the precipice, at least by the look of it in the first half of play, of earning their first win of the season. Baker, pressured by Watson, a good steal as she pokes the ball away with her left hand, but it goes out of bounds and will remain with the white and black Raiders. Baker to inbound. She looks in the backcourt where Fields is at. Fields is guarded by Watson, who is donning a unusual shoe color. She's wearing pink Nikes compared to the rest of her teammates' black and purple Nikes. Harper has it between a double team against Chavez and Sanchez. The double team enough to stifle her. She misses the first shot on the backside as Randall with the offensive board. Harper gets it again, hoists it up, misses, and then it will be out of bounds. Harmon, and it will remain Frontenac basketball. It will be a side out towards the far side of the court, away from both teams' benches. Fields tries to gain separation as Osuna is able to swat the basketball away from the right block, now allowing Harper to catch it easily. Baker will inbound in front of the student section. Scans. She finds Randall right back up to Baker. She goes with an up fake. Ball brought up over her head as she flips it to the right block. Tough post move used by Randall as she goes with the left hand hook, and it drops. Randall, a tough offhand shot for her first field goal of the night. She has 3 points in the contest, including 1 or 2 from the stripe. 2 minutes remaining in the half. 45-4 is the score. 41-point lead. Chavez goes up and under right block. A beautiful dish from Chavez as she kept her eyes up. Missed by Osuna. Chavez recovers. Ball picked up left elbow by Sanchez as she's able to fork it over left wing to Robinson to sub. Outside of the horseshoe will be Osuna. She finds Chavez right block again. A power dribble to Osuna. Ball ripped away by Randall. And a foul on the floor. This one will be against Osuna. That is the team's 14th or 15th foul. And no, excuse me, it's against the Raiders. And that was against Fields, which is odd because Fields was not in the vicinity of the play. As Chavez will pull up, right short corner, Deuce does not go. Rebound is by Randall as she will clear out the backcourt. Fields has it. She does not turn on the thrusters, but she decided to do so, but it was far too late for the offense to go. Deciding not to permeate inside the lane, Baker will instead settle for the right wing three. Harper has the ball forced out of her mitts, and it's a loose ball on the floor. The scrum between Baker and Robinson. Jump ball, possession arrow Raiders. Reagan Hipfill will sub in for the Raiders for the first time tonight. Meyer will also enter the contest for the Raiders for the second time this night. 1:20 left in the half, and Myers, excellent cup. She's bumped in the back, thrusts the ball into the air, and a high arcing shot easily drops through the bottom of the net. And it will be an and one, and that is a foul committed, I think, by Chavez, and it is her third. One and only free throw for Myers, good. Myers' first field goal, of the night. Her third free throw that was converted. Opposite end of the court is Robinson, right wing. She finds Chavez. Chavez has a difficult time maintaining the basketball. She threw it right into the hands of the outstretched Meyer, and a jump ball between Chavez and Meyer. It will remain Harmon basketball with a minute left in the first half. 48-4 is the score. Raiders lead by 44. 1 minute left in the half. Chavez, deep right corner two, does not fall. Following the air ball shot will be Baker. Baker scans the floor. She dribbles with the right hand, goes up with the right hand, teardrop, does not fall, and then it's a foul on her way up to the basket. And I don't think Osuna was set, nor was she outside the restricted zone. And it will be against Osuna, her second. A lot of fouls committed by Harmon, which is the sign of a very young team, and rightfully so. This Harmon team is struggling talk about this, the scarce amount of practice these girls have had, and then you come into hostile territory about a 2-hour drive away from Kansas City, Kansas, and then you have to take on a CNC team that's pretty seasoned. 50-4 is the score. Right wing Osuna, she jabs with the right foot. Looks like she's tap dancing. She throws it right into the midst of Meyer. Myers loses it immediately, and it's back out to Chavez, right wing three. That one is good, and Chavez showing off the range. Chavez with her first basket of the night. 50-7 is the score. Under 25 seconds left in the first half. Meyer wraparound right hand pass. She finds Hipville. She's able to levy a floating pass over to the right wing where Rooms is at. Ending up getting the basketball to the left short corner, was Meyer before Meyer was dropped from underneath by Guerrera. And that is her first. Her first. Into the line will go Myers. Myers goes 2 of 2 from the stripe. 52-7 is the score. 11 seconds left in the half. Raiders lead it. Chavez, left wing, picks up the dribble, wrap around, bounce pass to the left corner. Trap is Sanchez. Losing the ball is Baker. She tries to dive for it, but she goes out of bounds. It will be Hawks basketball. Inbound, left wing three is short by Sanchez, and that is the end of the first half of action. 52-7 is the score. The Lady Raiders with what seems to be an indomitable lead heading into the intermission. The Harmon Hawks will have time to talk it over and try to rally in the second half of play. And with that, we will step aside for 2 minutes and bring you a recap from the first half of action. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to the home of Frontenac Raider Athletics on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself, SEK Urgent Care is here for you. Let our skilled providers treat your non-life-threatening illness or injury at a fraction of the time and cost of an ER visit. Located at the corner of Centennial and Broadway in the Meadowbrook Commons. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. SEK Urgent Care, where your family and time matter. Find us fast in names and numbers.
Now accepting new clients. At the Pet Care and Surgery Center, Dr. James Clark believes all of our pets.
What do you want from your bank?
Access to my account information on my phone.
Security, convenience, and friendly staff.
When I call, I want to speak with a real person.
I want it all. Low fees, low loan rates, and high deposit rates.
What if there was a place like this in your community? There is. Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union, with locations in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Independence, and Coffeyville, serving area residents since 1949.
Headquartered in Richmond, Kansas, QSI Quality Structures Incorporated specializes in designing and building complete post-frame buildings. We provide structures built to withstand a 30-pound ground snow load and a 90-mile-per-hour wind shear built to the most stringent codes. Whether you need a garage, agricultural building, commercial facility, or custom-built design, we're your one-stop shop for post-frame buildings. QSI. Everything we do is right on cue.
The Envision process can help you try on your ideas before committing to them. Maybe you're thinking about retiring early or starting your own business. Your Envision plan can tell you how adding a goal could affect your ability to reach your objectives. For more information, call Shane Peak today at 620-232-3120. That's 620-232-3120. Wells Fargo Advisors is a trade name used by Wells Fargo Clearing Services, LLC, member SIPC.
Back to action with Frontenac Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
At the break, it is 52-7. Lady Raiders at home seeking their first win of the season, and it seems pretty sure-handed at this point, up 45 against the visiting J.C. Harmon Hawks here on Radio X 103.5, the Evolution alongside Caleb Withnow with Taylor Walls back at our 103.5 studios. I'm Cam Molina. Let's quickly go through the first half stats. We'll start with the Hawks. 3 points for Donna Chavez as she went 1-1 from downtown. Michaela Watson scored 2 points, and she has been an aggressor defensively throughout this contest. Has done a fantastic job pestering opposing offensive players. And then 2 points for Brianna Osuna. She was able to score low in the post. In total, 7 points. As for this Raider team, Skylar Baker off the bench, 5 points, 3 of 4 shooting from the line. Jaden Meyer, 6 of 6 from the stripe, 8 points. 8 points for Maddie Davis in limited minutes. She played most of the first, early on in the second, and was able to catch a breather throughout most of the rest of the second quarter of play. 4 points for Karma Fields, all from the stripe. 4 points for Caitlin Randall in the contest. 4 points for Bria Ginnivan in limited time. 1 point scored by Bailey Rooms, and that was from the charity stripe. And then 12 points scored by Taylor Peterson. And to cap it off, a great complimentary performance by the substituting forward, if you will, and Lauren Harper, who will most likely fill in for Macy Kotzman throughout this season, as Kotzman was diagnosed with a leg injury, an apparent leg injury, I might add, against the Carl Junction Bulldogs earlier this week on Tuesday. So again, at the break, 52-7 is the score. And just to go quickly into this contest, early on, the Raiders built up a 20-point lead in the first quarter of play and have not looked back since. Their full-court press, this has been an outstanding opportunity for them to hone that tool, and they've done an excellent job of using this time to not so much master it, but get a better feel for it tonight, as this team is very undersized. Their tallest player now will be Harper following the Kotzman injury, and not having much size inside means that you are liable to be scored on in that front court area. So being able to run that 2-3 zone, extended, locking down some perimeter-oriented players, and then doubling or at least having somebody on the weak side to help with those front court players really helps with the zone, 1. And then 2, for the full court press, being able to execute what is a defense or an offensive set that puts more strain on opposing offenses is great, because especially with this team being undersized, they want as many opportunities as possible, and the cadence of this club will most likely have to be at a hurried rate. Because of the size, they have the ability to move up the floor effectively. They have some very diverse players. Bria Ginnivan, the sophomore forward, can handle the ball effectively. Skylar Baker, the senior off the bench, who is about 5'11", 5'10", can play basically every position on the court. She's a great ball handler. She can bring it up the court. She can initiate play. She can find herself on the block and score with her back to the basket or face up. She really is a do-it-all talent off the bench for this team. But in addition, you have Taylor Peterson, who is a very quick, swift player off the perimeter. So just having everything tailored to this club is extremely important. And for Coach Harper tonight is the opportunity to execute some more of your sets, get more of a feel for the offense, and try to thrive without Kotzman. As disappointing as it is for this team not to have one of their seniors and their signal callers, you still have to rally around and play throughout the season. And again, speaking with Coach Harper, it seems that it is unknown how long Kotzman will be out, but the prognosis seems a bit bleak. So for this Harmon team, you look at the scoreboard and you may be a bit appalled and a bit staggered by the score, which is 52-7, but I do want to stress that this is a program that is still very, very young. Craig Smith and Malcolm Brunel have done a spectacular job, at least in speaking with them, with tutoring these young girls who come from maybe less than fortunate situations, who have to really step aside and help out their families just to eat on a regular basis. Now, I'm not telling everybody that this should be a sob story. I'm not harping on the fact that everybody is despondent and has, almost poverty-stricken. That is not the case. What the real story is here, that everybody in Harmon should be prideful of what these girls have done. They have done a spectacular job putting forth an effort to go out and play despite the scoreboard, despite the regular rigors of being girls who have really not had the opportunity to learn basketball and its fundamentals early on in life, and now being able to play at the high school varsity level and taking on opponents that may be 7 or 8 steps of caliber above them and going in fearlessly and playing. Are there growing pains? Obviously. Are these girls frustrated? Obviously. Is there some frustration from the coaching staff? Yes. But what the coaches have done is nothing short of incredible. Pulling a band of girls together and having 8 or 9 practices to teach them the fundamentals of basketball, at least for most of them, get a team organized in general, making sure that these girls have enough wits about them on the hardwood to produce some points in some level of competition, and being able to go out with a smile on their face and continually tell their athletes that, hey, don't look at the board. We need to go out. We need to perform. And when we come back, we can look at what we did wrong. We need to treat ourselves like any other basketball team. If we're going to carry ourselves with that demeanor, that characteristic of we are a high school basketball team that is to be feared, then we're going to be all right in the future. So kudos to Greg Smith, Malcolm Brunell, and the entirety of J.C. Harmon High School. We will step aside for 2 minutes and come back with the beginning of the second half of action. 52-7 is your score. Lady Raiders lead at home. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the home of Raider Athletics on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
If you are injured in an accident or on the job, it is vitally important that you hire the right attorney. Before choosing an attorney, you should make sure they have the resources to fight large corporations or insurance companies. Your attorney should have extensive trial court experience and a track record of success. The Spigarelli Law Firm, with offices in Pittsburgh and Coffeyville, has the experience, resources, and reputation to provide the quality representation your claim deserves. Fred Spigarelli has received the top rating from his peers with the Martindale-Hubbell Independent Rating System. His firm has the resources to hire the experts and physicians needed to properly present your claim. The Spigarelli Law Firm has successfully tried cases for over 40 years and taken numerous cases all the way to the Supreme Court. Call the Spigarelli Law Firm today at 877-409-7931 or visit their website at spigarelli-law.com. You can also find them fast in names and numbers. Be sure to get reliable information when you choose an attorney to represent you.
When the light
Headquartered in Richmond, Kansas, QSI Quality Structures Incorporated specializes in designing and building complete post-frame buildings. We provide structures built to withstand a 30-pound ground snow load and a 90-mile-per-hour wind shear built to the most stringent codes. Whether you need a garage, agricultural building, commercial facility, or custom-built design, we're your one-stop shop for post-frame buildings. QSI. Everything we do is right on cue.
In the market for a quality pre-owned vehicle, Bittner Motors has a large selection of late model, low mileage vehicles to choose from. Whether it be a car, truck, or SUV, Bittner Motors will warranty all their vehicles 100% for parts and service. And if you can't find what you're looking for on the lot, they will find it for you. Bittner Motors, 1018 North Broadway, Pittsburgh.
And now, back courtside with more Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
You heard it there on the bump. We are back with Lady Raider basketball, score 52-7. The Raiders lead it heading into the third quarter play. Davis steps through inside the key, and a left-hand floater goes through the bottom of the net. Score is now 54-7, and Davis now with 10 points in the competition, 4 of 4 from the field. Past the timeline is Watson before she does a screwball pass over to the right wing where Reed is at. Inside the arc is Sanchez. It's off the foot of Reed, who has congregated near her. Not much space. Almost a 5-second call as Reed is double teamed. Chavez can't handle the sphere, and it's a backcourt violation. Raider basketball. Raiders will have a side out in front of their home fan section. Many are wearing black attire. Maybe not Raider logo or Raider lettering, but black in general, as Peterson right-handed skates past Watson for the unabated lay-in. It's Taylor Peterson, 4 of 4 from the field tonight. 14 points, 56-7 is the score, nearly a 50-point lead for the Lady Raiders as Coach Harper is looking towards the bench, maybe ready to bring in a few substitutions. Watson angles a pass inside to Osuna. It is off her shin, and then it ricochets to Chavez, but then Fields comes over and steals it away. Following the pillaging steal by Fields, it is Davis, right wing, before she resets the offense. She chugs away from the top of the key. She reverses, but now puts her pedal to the metal on the left wing, and then a 5-second call against the defending Sanchez. So Davis and company turn the basketball over in a good defensive sequence for Harmon High School. 6:40 left in the third quarter. 56-7 is the score, a 49-point lead for the Raiders. Chavez, ball cocked above the head, bounce pass, and trying to thread it in between Fields and Harper results in a steal. Right corner, Davis, she rips through and attacks inside the horseshoe. Skip pass, Fields, left wing three is up. Rattles in and out, and as it saucers away from Harper, it is rebounded by the scorching fast Sanchez. Correction, Osuna. Left wing Watson. Outside of the circle. forks it over to Chavez. Chavez up and under, somehow wiggles a bounce pass and snakes it in between Peterson and Rooms, who subbed in, and then tripped up right short corner attacking the rim was Sanchez, and she's tripped up by Rooms. First team foul against the Raiders in the second half. First on Rooms. Reed will inbound. Reed scans. Quickly darts the basketball in right wing, and a beautiful three-pointer from Sanchez from the right wing. And Sanchez was on the move too. She had her momentum behind her, caught the basketball, then faded away and still knocked it down as Peterson will interchange with Davis. Rooms left wing three, tries to respond, unable to do it in full, but Peterson is able to garner the offensive rebound and punch it back through. Peterson and company doing a spectacular job off the glass, crashing the boards effectively. And the three-pointer from Watson way strong, as that one was a bit outside. 58-9 is the score, 49-point lead for the Raiders, 5:30 left in the third quarter of play. Maddie Fields, midcourt, tries to spin away from Watson as she pirouettes and forks the basketball into the belly of Peterson. Peterson is able to launch a fastball to the right short corner, right block now where Fields is at. Fields has it, pulls up on the deuce, cannot convert. Down low is Room, left block. She finds Harper on the snaking pass. Ball was right into the torso of Harper. She went up through traffic and was hit multiple times. And after the contact, the whistle is blown. So 4 fouls on Chavez. And Chavez, who just is a freshman who's a bit undersized in a situation like she is, has done a spectacular job considering the circumstances. First free throw from Harper off the left side of the iron. Only the 5th miss tonight by the Lady Raiders from the stripe, 24 of 29. So Connor will sub in. Marjay Connor will, which is odd because I went down to the scores table prior to the game, and I mentioned this before. She's listed as 25, and Robinson's listed as 20, but number 20 comes onto the court, and it's Connor. So I'm under the assumption that it is Connor, but I do apologize to anyone listening in Kansas City that if I'm mistaking the name. Regardless, following the second free throw miss by Harper, it is 58-9, a 49-point lead for the Raiders, still in a 2-3 zone that has been very much intact and stifling tonight against this Hawks team. Watson has it about 4 steps away from the apex of the arc. Watson trying to diagnose what to do against this 2-3 zone, and in the left short corner she finds Sanchez. It goes with the right-hand teardrop, and it tings off the right side of the hoop, bounces away, and as it flared away, Baker comes up with the rebound. Wide open right corner is Hipfield, but instead she decides to find Caitlin Sellers' right block. She cannot finish, but Myers does on the weak side. So Jaden Meyer with a follow-up lay-in. She has 10 off the bench. 60-9 is the score. Reed, right wing extended, knocks it down. 60-11 is the score following the Reed 2-pointer, and Reed has a nice shot as she was actually from the right elbow extended, I beg your pardon. And flashing up from the right corner to the top of the key is Hipfield. Hipfield finds Randall, and Randall and company will just work the ball around, interchanging it between one another. Seller comes up with the offensive rebound. Ball poked up. It's a hot potato drill. Rebounded by Baker, who's able to drop it through the bottom of the net. Nylon kind to the Raiders as they poured on 62 points, their most of the season. 3:30 left in the third. 62-11 is the score. Pass fake by Watson to the left side as she finds Reed. On the right wing, right corner, Sanchez. She airballs it off of Hipfield. It will remain Hawks basketball. Hawks uniform, to be a bit more detailed, have these white slits going up and down from the underarm of the jersey to the bottom of the shorts. Left block 2-pointer does not fall. About a 4-foot jump shot by Sanchez. Skims off the rim. Rebounded by Hipfield, and then over to Myers on the left elbow on the opposite end of the court, and then a travel by Meyer. And another substitution for the Raiders as Grayson Hipfield, the freshman, will earn some time at the varsity level. 3 minutes left in the third. Watson waltzes up court, does a little bit of a dance, And inside the circle will be Reed. She steps into it too. It sails. Hipfield. Reagan Hipfield, to be exact, has the defensive rebound, and she crosses over from left to right. Right wing is Grayson Hipfield before she flutters a pass over to the left wing. Left wing trifecta soars from Meyer. She cannot convert, but the offensive rebound by Sellers is good. Correction, it is Grayson Hipfield, the freshman, who will score. So Hipfield with her first basket of the night. 64-11 is the score. Skip pass from Watson to the right corner where Sanchez is at, inside of the circle. Ball stolen away. In transition is Caitlin Randall. Randall finds Reagan Hipfield. Hipfield cannot convert, and it's a rebound garnered by Reed, and Reed hugs the basketball to clear out the backcourt. As she canters past the timeline, she looks for Connors, who's on the right wing. Connors, with her glasses, scans the floor. In the right corner, Sanchez. She tries to spin away, ball off of her foot. It is stolen away by Grayson Hipfield, who recorded her first varsity points, to my knowledge, this season, and as a freshman of her career. Reagan Hipfield nearly carrying the basketball as it was elongated crossover from right to left. Cutting through the middle of the lane will be Meyer. Meyer posts up, right block. Left-hand hook shot soars. Rebound by Reagan Hipfield, weak side, and converts. And a timeout is used. No, correction. It will just be substitutions with 1:24 left. 66-11 is the score. A 55-point lead by the Raiders. Chavez back in the contest for Harmon High School. Herrera also checks back in. In addition, it is Osuna. Watson picks up her dribble. She finds Chavez right wing before she penetrates inside of the circle. After permeating inside, she finds Watson after an immediate double team. Connor has it, left wing, off her shoe, recovered by Reagan Hipfield. She needs to quickly get out of her hand as she finds Grayson Hipfield. Grayson Hipfield in transition gallops. She has long strides and tries to find Meyer, and Meyer on her knee as she's able to go with a single hopper over to Reagan Hipfield at the apex of the arc. Reagan Hipfield stumbles and falls, and she is slow to get up with her head down, and she's just more so embarrassed than injured. And I think to the disdain of the entire bench, as for a second they all jeered and then looked on the floor because they thought it was an injury. We're all hesitant and apprehensive to what happened to Hipfield before Hipfield came up with a coy, somewhat sly smile, and that sent the entire bench into a smiling frenzy. Watson taking her time and a methodical approach. Chavez sails the right wing three. Following the wild pitch by Chavez, it will be Reagan Hipfield past the timeline. She will find at the top of the key Grayson Hipfield before Hipfield shuttles it over to the left corner. Meyer looks, right block, and it's over to Grayson Hipfield. She steps through, and a tough hook shot does not go. Following the baby hook shot, the ball's loose. Chavez on the floor trying to force the jump ball, and it's 66-11. 1.9 seconds left in the third. Connor will inbound from the left side of the hoop. No, it will be a Frontenac inbound. And a box set ran by Frontenac, who seems to be a bit disoriented, not really knowing that it's their ball. Inbound, hoisted up shot, does not go from Randall. 66-11. Heading into the final frame of action, the Raiders with a surefire 55-point lead. With the final frame of action, the Harmon Hawks and Raiders continue to improve in this high school contest from Frontenac High School. We will step aside for 30 seconds to bring you back the final period of action here on your headquarters for Frontenac Athletics, Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
Save where you shop with Labette Bank's Bazing checking account. Use the Bazing app to find over 300,000 national and local discounts. Bazing also offers industry-leading identity theft protection, roadside assistance, cell phone protection, paying up to $200 for damaged phones, pharmacy, vision, and hearing savings. With Bazing checking, you get deals you want and protection you deserve. Stop by and ask us about Bazing at Labette Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Find us fast in names and numbers.
Now, more exciting Raiders basketball action on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
And we are back in Frontenac High School, fourth quarter of play set to begin. It's a 65-11 lead for the Raiders against the Harmon High School Hawks. Watson will inbound to the right of the scorer's table, and actually a correction. Reed will go to the far side of the court for a side out. To begin this fourth quarter of play, as Watson will come up, scurries to the leg of the Raider logo at midcourt and asks for a high ball screen by Robinson against a 2-3 zone. Instead, Robinson will hover and stay at the free throw line to try to break the 2-3 zone, and an airballed two-pointer by Sanchez, and it bounces off the hands of Peterson. It will remain Hawks basketball. And the JV freshman team for this Harmon team cheering and being extremely enthusiastic, and you have to appreciate that if you are the coaches, as Watson tries to chuck up a 3-foot, 4-foot jump shot. The floater is turned back by Harper. Reed is barely able to corral the basketball as she's able to hoist it in from the left wing. She works the ball around the perimeter, and it's a travel. Sanchez walked with it. Davis will inbound the basketball from the near side of the court, and the Raiders offense on your dial will go from left to right offensively. Peterson wants to engage the offense as Fields will set a down screen. Harper flashes up on the right wing. Harper dribbles with her right hand. It's an isolation for Fields as she curls inside of the key. Bounce pass to Fields as she picks up her dribble. And the three-point jump shot on the way from Shelby Baker. Great rotation of the basketball by the Raiders as they are now up 69-11. Watson, a floater over to the right wing where Sanchez is at, and Sanchez delivers a sputtering pass back to the top of the key. Reed steps in to a right short corner two, rebounded by Harper, and a cleared out backcourt by Peterson. Now Peterson turns on the accelerators. Dribbles left right, beautiful snaking bounce pass to Davis, who comes scorching down the court. And a scouting left-handed layup goal. 71-11 is the score. Raiders lead it. 6 minutes left in the fourth before the Raiders earn their first victory of the season. That's probably nice for Coach Harper and company to etch their name in the scoring column prior to heading off and taking on far more turbulent tasks this season, as Sanchez pulled up from the right elbow. That one is short as it glances off the lip of the iron. Fields beelines it to the right wing as Peterson looks low. Orchestrating traffic, she throws a frozen rope to the top of the key where Fields is at. Peterson, beautiful dump off to the cutting Baker, and Baker and company moving without any sort of hesitation or remorse, wasting no time scoring. 73-11 is the score. 5:30 left in the contest. Watson high dribbles the ball near her chin. Pass fake from Herrera, left wing, and working the baseline from left to right is Reed. Watson stares down the defense and then tosses it over to the left corner before it's broken up by Peterson, and that was a fairly telegraphed attempt by Watson, and a platoon swap for the Raiders as Randall, Rooms, Grayson Hipfill, Reagan Hipfill, and Sellers will all come onto the court. Inbound, near side out, as Connors will find a Reed as she steps into the two, and a two-pointer falls to the bottom of the netting. 73-14 is the score. Seller, right block, fall away, right-hander. Perfect angle from Sellers, who's able to bank it in. And the JV freshman section for Harmon chanting, "Let's go Hawks, let's go." Watson stares down the defense. She finds Reed. Left wing, it will be a three-pointer short by Rodriguez. Reed's tying her shoe on the opposite end, and it's a 5-on-4. Reed looks up. Cutting inside will be Rooms, and then Rooms' shot is tracked down by Reagan Hipfield, and she's able to follow up with a lay-in. A lot of the bench players able to have an opportunity to boost their morale, getting a lot of minutes. Watson settles, three-pointer on its way off the back of the iron, rebounded, and a long rebound by Sanchez. After snaring the basketball, it's Watson who works the basketball around the perimeter, to the left wing, to the top of the key, into the right corner. Now inside the horseshoe is Sanchez, and hands the basketball. I mean hands the basketball to Randall. I don't think it was intentional. It wasn't like a quarterback to a halfback by any means, but Sanchez stuck it out there, and Randall said thanks. Sellers, about a 3-foot right-hand hook shot from the right block to short, rebounded by Reed, and it's cleared out. Following the clamps being put on by Reed, cantering in transition and now flying through the lane is Watson, and she's fouled on her way to the rack. 77-14 is the score. Running clock continues to trickle away with 3 minutes left in the contest. So Watson will have a pair of free throws as Rooms goes back to talk with Coach Harper. Squatting is Watson, and she springs up quickly for a free throw but leaves it short. Rodriguez subs out. Connors will sub out as well. Chavez will come back in for Harmon High School. Watson takes her sweet time at the line, and her second opportunity is good. 4 points for Watson as she tied for the team leader in scoring for the Hawks. She's knotted up with Reed. Reagan Hipfield rips through, brings the ball above her head. Ponytail dangling behind her as she dribbles right-handedly. Reagan has the ball picked up, right corner. Power dribble by Sellers. Left-hand hook does not fall. And then Reagan Hipfield on the weak side is able to snare the rebound, keep the ball above her head, and polish it off the window. 79-15 is the score with under 2 minutes left. The Raiders lead it. 2-3 zone retracted, if you will. Inside of the key are the Raiders against this Hawks team. And the Hawks offense being dared to shoot, and Sanchez will take advantage of that as she uncorks the deuce and nails it. So the unsheathed right elbow 2 drops. And a timeout used by Frontenac. 1:30 left in the ball game. 79-17 is the score. We are back in 30 seconds with Radio X 103.9 The Evolution.
Haynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist. Haynes handles all driveline repairs for cars, trucks, four-wheel drive vehicles, and farm equipment. Haynes can also handle any general machine work and offers 24-hour record service. Call Haynes anytime, 231-3170. Haynes Incorporated is located at the intersection of West McKay and Highway 69 Frontenac Junction. Haynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist.
Proud supporter of Frontenac Athletics.
Back to action with Frontenac Raiders basketball on Radio X 103.5 The Evolution.
Lady Raiders a minute and a half away from earning their first victory on the season, and Coach Harper definitely knows how to schedule a difficult year for this Raiders team, trying to challenge them both physically and mentally. Start off the season, they took on CNC opponent in the Colgan Lady Panthers, faltered in that contest, only stumbled by a couple of points, and then went to the road, took on Tristan Gegg and the Labette County Lady Grizzlies. Lost in that ball game by double digits, and then was thumped by a Carl Junction team in Missouri that is very talented and will respectively, and actually, to preface, all of these teams will most likely and tentatively will make the state playoffs. So a very tough early schedule for the Raiders, and Harmon will be the club that the Raiders will prevail over tonight as Watson transition to a pull-up from the right elbow does not go, and Osuna underneath the basket is fouled. And as she's hacked, that is the fourth team foul committed by the Lady Raiders. It will be an inbounds underneath the basket towards the left side of the goal for Harmon High School, and the Hawks unaware that it will be their inbounds. So the inbounds, everyone huddled up about 7 to 8 steps away from half court. Chavez steps into a 3 air ball, rebounded by Reagan Hipfield. Hipfield with the ponytail dancing behind her back is able to scoop the basketball over to Meyer. Meyer will find Rooms, who interchanges it with Grayson Hipfield. And Grayson Hipfield finds Reagan Hipfield, and the ball is handed off into the torso of Myers. And the Raiders just wasting clock, 1 second left, and that is it. The Frontenac Lady Raiders advance to 1-3 on the season. A big morale and confidence boost for this team as they are able to now have a 25% win mark on the year. And I'm certain that mark will improve as the season continues on and the experience continues to swell. And this is a Raiders team that was without Macy Kotzman tonight, one of 4 seniors on this Raiders team. So to overcome that adversity and to win tonight at home in front of a home crowd, that has to be very positive in the mind of Coach Harper, and commending the Harmon coaching staff is Coach Harper as they are standing at midcourt. And speaking of both teams, we will step aside for 2 minutes, and we will come back with the final statistics for tonight and sign off. Back in 2 minutes, you're listening to the home of Raider Athletics on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
Customer first, safety always. It's not just a tagline, it's the Watco way. By focusing on safety, each and every day they build a future by protecting their customers, team members, community, and the environment. When Watco moves commodities by rail.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Headquartered in Richmond, Kansas, QSI Quality Structures Incorporated specializes in designing and building complete post-frame buildings. We provide structures built to withstand a 30-pound ground snow load and a 90-mile-per-hour wind shear built to the most stringent codes. Whether you need a garage, agricultural building, commercial facility, or custom-built design, we're your one-stop shop for post-frame buildings. QSI. Everything we do is right on cue.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburgh State University.
Community boasts an outstanding school system, low taxes, complete city services, including 24-hour police and fire protection. Good luck, Raiders, from the mayor, city council, and staff.
And now, more exciting Raiders basketball action on Radio X 103.5, The Evolution.
One final welcome back from Frontenac High School as the Lady Raiders prevail big time. A 60-plus point victory over the Harmon Hawks. Alongside Caleb Withnow, Taylor Wall back at our 103.5 studio. I'm Cam Molina. Let's go quickly through the final statistics. Chavez drops 4 points for the Hawks. Watson with 2. 5 points for Sanchez. She knocked down a trifecta. 2 points for Brianna Osuna. 4 points for Miquela Reed. And as for this Frontenac team, 12 points for Baker, 10 for Jaden Meyer. Maddie Davis notched 12. Dumping on 4 points was Karma Fields. Reagan Hipfill off the bench with 4. Randall with 4. And Bria Ginnivan with 4 points. 1 point for Bailey Room. 17 for Taylor Peterson. She was the leading scorer of the night. Lauren Harper with 6 points, 2 points for Caitlin Sellers, and 2 more points for Grayson Hipfill off the bench. And just some quick observations. The Raiders earned their first victory of the season for 1, but 2 looked very crisp offensively. Defensively, also very stout. The 2-3 zone played into the Raiders' hands as the Harmon Hawks were puzzled throughout the entire night. They try to run some high post sets, but this is, again, a very young Hawks team that Coach Greg Smith has done an excellent job coaching over the last 2 seasons. They will continue to grow, but Coach Harper pleased with her girls' performance. 1-3 on the year. More trials and tribulations ahead, but this was a good victory and the lone victory so far. But according to Coach Harper, this is where it begins, and without Macy Kotzman, that raises a lot of questions as to who will be that full-time starter in the middle. But I think if it was any indication tonight, it was Harper who did a fantastic job in the post, scoring 6 points in the contest, able to grab some rebounds, and fairly athletic. She ran the floor well. So this Raiders team advances to 1-3 on the season once again. The Harmon Hawks fall as a 60-point victory, and a reassuring win for this Raiders team heading into more so of the meat of the schedule and right before Christmas break, hoping to earn a couple more wins. Final sign-off for tonight. A special thanks to Taylor Walsh back at our 103.5 studio. From Caleb Withnow, I'm Cam Molina. Everybody have fun, be safe, and again, Frontenac win.
The true test of a great insurance agency comes when you suffer a loss. It's easy to take your premium